Hello folks, more lease deals for you. Lots of conflicting comments based on my last video where I said I'm having a go at basically putting all the deals together in one video a week. Just to make the point clear, when I say all the videos are going to be together, they're in separate sections of the video. So in this one, I'm starting off with EVs, then I'm going to petrols and diesels, and I'm going to end up on plug-in hybrids. Now, there is a clear choice, folks. We can either have one of these every week and everyone gets to see the deals that they want to see once a week, or I can keep them separate and you'll have one every other week. So you'd have petrols, plug-in hybrids in one video. The following week you'd get EVs. The following week you get petrols, plug-in hybrids, diesels, etc. And on it would go. Or we can have one big video every week that's split up into sections and you can just watch the bits you're interested in. Let me know your thoughts on that one in the comments. We are sponsored today by ALA Insurance. In my opinion, the best place to go and find yourself some gap insurance. Using the code JIM10 also saves you 10% off their pricing. And of course, the link to Lease locos in the video description. You'll also see QR codes on the screen. Scan those with your phone if you're watching on the telly or something, and that will also take you through and use my link. Right, let's get started with the EVs. We're starting off at the cheapest end of the spectrum. 140 quid for this little electric roller skate. It's the Expression 45, 140 miles of range, 45 brake horsepower, 308 litres of boot space. 0-62 in this bad boy, 19.1 seconds. Fwah. £420 up front and 140 quid a month. And obviously, if you can charge that from home as well, you're getting the cheapest motoring you could possibly get, albeit rather compromised. Average on it's been 177 a month, 219 at its peak. This is the lowest price we've seen it so far. Hyundai Insta 85 kilowatt hour. It's the 02 spec, 223 miles of range, 238 litres of boot space, insurance group 23, 116 brake horsepower, 779 up front and 259 a month. It's in stock, this one. If you've watched my review of this car, you'll know how I was completely blown away by it and utterly surprised by it. I had no real interest in this car until I drove one and I fell in love with it. 391 a month's been the average, 586 at its peak. Its lowest point was a fiver less than it is right now. It's 259 a month with 779 up front. MG4 Trophy long range, 270 miles of range, 203 brake horsepower, insurance group 29 and 289 litres of boot space, 780 up front and 260 a month. Little rear wheel drive electric car with a decent range, 398 at its peak, 302 on average. We're currently £2.50 a month over its lowest point. It's 260 quid a month with 780 up front. The Leap Motors C10 is next, and we saw some ridiculous deals on this about a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago maybe. Absolutely bananas deals. They seem to have finished. But you can get one of these now for 884 up front and 294 a month. That's on a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. Now, those really cheap deals were on a 2-year deal on, I think, 5,000 miles a year. So let's just have a look at that to compare it to where we were. 266 quid a month. It says the lowest price on it was 158. I saw it much lower than that. The price tracker at times doesn't make much sense to me, I have to say. I saw it at 127, I think, at one stage. But at the moment, obviously, it's gone up quite a lot. I don't think they're the most amazing cars in the world, to be honest, but I haven't driven one, so it's perhaps unfair for me to judge. But for this kind of price they were, it's a no-brainer, an absolute no-brainer. So it might just be worth keeping an eye on this one to see if the crazy pricing comes back. Folks, just a very quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks. Nissan Aria's next. You know how much I like this car, and I'm going to tell you how much I like this price. £914 up front and £304 a month. This is a brilliant, very premium feeling car. It doesn't feel like a Nissan, a modern Nissan. I mean that in a positive way. £914 up front, £304 a month. And that gives you 251 miles of range, 217 brake horsepower, insurance group 31, 466 litres of boot space. Lowest price £300 on that, so it's £4 a month less than it is now. Highest price on it was 538, and the average has been 462. there really is a lot to like about that car, and definitely about that price. If you haven't experienced one of these things in the flesh, I strongly suggest you go and have a poke around one and possibly have a test drive. So they really are nice things to drive as well. Renault Scenic E-Tech Techno long range, 381 miles of range, which is really decent. 545 litres of boot space, insurance group 33 and 217 brake horsepower. A grand up front and 343 a month. 380's been the average on it, 444 at its peak. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we saw a crazy price on this, 288 it dropped down to just for a minute. I don't think we'll get to that again. I think that's probably a bit of a one-off, but by all means, keep an eye on it because, you know, at that kind of money, that's a very good car, even at 340 quid. I think that's very good value considering the range, especially. Ioniq 5 Advanced 63 kilowatt hours. So this is 273 miles of range. It's on that 800 volt architecture, so you get the super fast rapid charging. Insurance group 33, 520 litres of boot space, £1,000 up front, 347 a month. 408 a month has been the average on this one, 451 at its peak, and at its lowest point, it was 2 or 3 quid a month less than it is now. It's 347 with a grand up front. The Ioniq 5 is still a brilliant electric car, absolutely fantastic car. I also love the Ioniq 6. It's slightly more executive brother, I guess, or sister maybe. It's the kind of Tourer saloon. 339 miles of range, 228 brake horsepower, insurance group 37, about 400 litres of boot space. This one's in ultimate trim, so you shouldn't be wanting for anything really. 0-62 times 7.4 seconds, 455 quid a month on average, 520 at its peak. At its lowest point, about 15 quid a month less than it is right now. It's £393 a month with 1180 up front. Let's go to Enyaq Coupes, the 85X Sport line, 4x4, 334 miles of range, 286 brake horsepower, insurance group 39 and 570 litres of boot space, 0-62 in 6.7, 1300 quid up front, 429 a month. Highest point on that was £662 a month, 530 on average. Its lowest point, 2 quid a month less than where it is now. That's a fantastic price on this VW Group Skoda Enyaq Coupe. Next, we've got the Xpeng G6, a bit of a Tesla clone, if you ask me. I haven't driven one yet. 354 miles of range, 285 brake horsepower, 571 litres of boot space, insurance group 44. 0-62 in 6.2 seconds, 646 a month on average, 766 at its peak. Its lowest point, 7 quid a month less than it is right now, 1300 up front and 434 a month. That one's the rear wheel drive. It really is just a bit of a clone of the Tesla Model Y. They haven't really hidden the fact too well, I don't think. And certainly when it comes to the interior. Ooh. But there you go. Tesla's not for everyone. So maybe it'll do well. The Genesis GV60 Premium is next with the Comfort Pack, 321 miles of range. Again, it's got that 800 volt architecture, so it charged really quickly, 229 brake horsepower, 432 litres of boot space, insurance group 40. It's essentially an EV6 or an Ioniq 5 with a different lid on it. It's a wee bit smaller than both those cars, but I mean a wee bit. 1,332 up front and 444 a month. Now, where this differs from those other cars is it's just got a more premium interior and a premium feel throughout. I'm not saying the one that we're looking at here is necessarily going to have a blue interior, but it feels very familiar if you're used to either of those two cars, but a bit more premium. 1,332 up front, 444 a month. 641's been the average on it, 746 at its peak, and this is the lowest price we've seen it right now, 444 a month with 1,332 up front. Polestar 4 is next, long range single motor prime, 385 miles of range, 272 brake horsepower, insurance group 44 and 526 litres of boot space. Lots of people make a lot of the insurance group, and I often see people saying, well, how much you paid for insurance on that? Insurance differs massively based on you and where you live. So it doesn't matter if someone else in the feed is telling you they pay 300 quid for it. Could be 3 grand for you or vice versa. So always get a quote from an insurance company on any of these things before you pull the trigger, because you may be surprised either positively or negatively by the price. And yes, you could say to yourself, well, an insurance group 44 is going to cost more to insure than an insurance group 25. But you don't know the particular appetite of your insurer. You don't know how their algorithm works with you as an individual, where you live, all that kind of stuff. You answer about 20, 30 questions on a car insurance quote, and they will use 400 or 500 bits of data to give you a price. And that's the important thing, you. Anyway, I digress. 385 miles of range, 272 brake horsepower, insurance group 44, 526 litres of boot space, 1,540 up front, 513 a month. Average on this one's been 686, 718 at its peak, and this is the lowest price we've seen it thus far. Had one of these in for review recently, and I thought it was a very, very impressive car, very good car, very expensive car. And this lease actually looks like very good value if you compare it to that purchase price. If you were looking for gap insurance on one of these, let's just run through a quick quote on the ALA website. It will only take us a couple of seconds. So I'm going to do this in real time. It's a car. We are going for personal contract hire or lease. Haven't got the car yet. It's brand new. As it's brand new, it's going to have less than 80,000 miles on it. Estimated price of the car, it's about 60 grand on one of those. We're going to say it's a Polestar. There we go. And it's fully electric. See my quote. Okay, so just as a reminder, gap insurance is there to step in if your car's involved in a write-off, which means it could be stolen and not recovered, it could be flooded, it could have been set on fire, it could have been in an accident and deemed uneconomical to repair. All those things will get your car written off. Now, if the insurance company's settlement differs from what the lease company are asking, you could find yourself having a shortfall to make up, and the gap insurance just fills that gap. Does what it says on the tin. So this one we'll say up to 2 grand for our initial rental cover. The monthly rental on it is 513 quid. So we're going to pop that in there. Level of cover suggesting 20 grand. You know, you might be thinking that's a £60,000 car. What we're talking about here is what the gap's going to be. And it's very unlikely you're going to have a gap bigger than 20 grand. You know, likelihood is if there is a gap, it's going to be probably one of these. But let's put the 20 grand in. That's given us a price of 186 quid. That's for 3 years worth of cover. That's not 186 quid a year. It's 186 quid for 3 years. It will give us up to 250 quid towards our car insurance excess if the car's written off. It will also give us up to 2 grand towards a deposit on another car. And if we put the code JIM10 in here, it makes it 176 quid, which is not bad, is it? ALA don't have commission salespeople either. They have customer service agents. It's a family-run business. They're lovely people to deal with. So go and check them out. There's a link in the video description. There's a QR code on your screen, or you can give them a ring on 01653 916 304. Massive thanks to ALA for sponsoring the video. On to the petrols and diesels. There will be some hybrids in here, but they'll be mild hybrids, i.e. hybrids where you don't have to plug the car in. And then after this, we're going to have the plug-in hybrids at the end of the video. Nissan Duke 1 litre Digi-T Tecna, 10.7 seconds to 62, 48 mpg, insurance group 13 and 422 litres of boot space, 770 up front and 256 a month. 290's been the average, 324 at its peak. Its lowest point is 20 quid a month, less than it is right now, but it still seems like good value. The Kia Ceed 1.5 GDI ISG 138 GT line. This is a petrol manual, 9.5 seconds to 62, 48 mpg, 395 litres of boot space, and insurance group 13. 262 has been the lowest price on it. So we are 99 pence a month more than that. 99p a month more than it was at its lowest point. At its peak, it was 327, and on average, it's been 293. You get that for 791 up front and 263 a month. The Jeep Avenger 1.2 Summit is next, 10.6 seconds to 62, 50 mpg, 321 litres of boot space, insurance group 24, 818 up front and 272 a month. At its peak, that was an amazing £500 a month, 350 on average. At its lowest point, £3 a month less than it is now. MGHS 1.5 TGDI Trophy. Trophy being sort of top of the line trim on MG. 844 up front and 281 a month. You get a lot of car for that. 9.4 seconds to 62, 38 mpg, 169 brake horsepower, insurance group 24 and 507 litres of boot space. I have reviewed one of these on the channel, so go and check that video out. It is worth a watch. You'd be surprised by the premium interior on these. Price history wise, 354 has been the average on it, 450 at its peak, and at its lowest point it was £8 or £9 less than it is now. A lot of car for that much money, in my opinion. If you want to see the plug-in hybrid version of that, there's an outstanding deal coming in that section of the video. Nissan Qashqai 1.3 Digi mild hybrid N connector with the glass roof. If you want a car that does it all, just get one of these. 852 up front, 284 a month, 10.2 seconds to 62, 44 mpg, insurance group 20 and 479 litres of boot space. 284 a month. Average on it's been 314, 367 at its peak, and at its lowest point it's about £6 or £7 a month less than it is now. Citroen C5 Aircross 1.5 diesel max edition, 3 proper seats across the back of this one, so you can get 3 car seats in if need be. 10.6 seconds to 62, 45 mpg, insurance group 19 and 720 litres of boot space, 131 brake horsepower. 291 a month with 874 up front. Average on it's been 423, 622 at its peak, and at its lowest point it was £8 or £9 a month less than it is now. That looks like exceptional value at the moment, and any Stellantis car is a good thing to have new, and probably less of a good idea to have used, simply because they're cars that I'd like to have a full manufacturer's warranty on personally. But your mileage may vary, as we say. Next, we've got the Alfa Romeo Junior 1.2 Turbo Hybrida Automatic, 415 litres boot space, 8.9 seconds to 62, 57.6 mpg and 136 brake horsepower. Check out the price on this, 454 a month on average, 516 at its peak, and 315 is the lowest price we've seen it. Look how the price is just falling off a cliff. 28th of July, it's 483 a month. Currently 315 with 947 up front. It's a great looking car as well, the little Junior. Alfa clearly produced the best looking cars of the Stellantis range. This one's no exception. It's a great looking thing. It's full of character, and that's a lot cheaper than we would usually see one. Hyundai Tucson 1.6 turbo mild hybrid N-Line S. Right up there in trim levels, 974 up front and 324 a month, 577 litres of boot space, insurance group 18 and 9.4 seconds to 62. Month on month, one of the most popular cars on Lease Loco, simply because it does everything, doesn't it? 380 a month on average, 427 up front. At its lowest point, it's about £2 or £3 a month less than it is right now. £324 a month with 974 up front. Folks, just a reminder, please use the link to Lease Loco. It is how I get paid for doing this. If you don't do it, if you just go direct to Lease Loco, they still get your business. I just don't get paid. VW T-Roc 1.5 TSI Black Edition Plus DSG Automatic, 8.4 seconds to 62, 45 mpg, 150 brake horsepower, insurance group 25 and 445 litres of boot space. £1,000 up front and 333 a month on this one. 378's been the average on it, 532 at its peak, and this is the lowest price we've seen it so far. Black Edition does look smart on these things. Another automatic from the VW groups, it's the Cupra Leon 1.5 ETSI 150 V1. 8.7 seconds to 62, 53 mpg, 150 brake horsepower, insurance group 21, and 380 litres of boot space. Now, the upfront payment on this is just the monthly payment. It's just 36 straight months of £351 a month. So that's quite attractive, possibly. You haven't got to come up with a lump sum in the first place. 385 a month on average, 491 at its peak. At its lowest point, it was about £6-7 a month less than it is now. Skoda Karoq 1.5 TSI Sportline Edition, automatic, 9 seconds to 62, 45 mpg, insurance group 20, and 521 litres of boot space. Nearly 1100 up front and 360 a month. 420 a month's been the average, 708 at its peak. Its lowest point was a lot less than this. It was a couple of months ago. Got down to 327, but still at 360. It looks very good against that average and amazing against that peak. Volkswagen Tiguan All-Space 1.5 TSI Life Automatic, 9.6 seconds to 62, 700 litres of boot space, insurance group 21, 1100 up front and 365 a month. Average on it's been 417, 537 at its peak. VW Golf GTI 265 DSG automatic, 5.9 seconds to 62, 40 mpg, 31 is the insurance group, 265 brake horsepower and 374 litres of boot space. What's not to love with this one? It's more or less bang on the average price. It's a tiny bit under the average price, £5-6 a month under the average. The lowest point on it was about a tenner a month less than it is right now. At its peak, it was £488. So Golf GTI, folks, like Nike say, just do it. You can also get the Golf Estate, but it's the Golf R Estate. So this is the ridiculously spicy version. 4.8 seconds to 62, 333 brake horsepower. Insurance group's only 33, which is not bad considering the performance. 611 litres of boot space, nearly 1,500 up front and nearly 500 a month. 596 a month's been the average. 681 has been the peak on it. Its lowest point was a bananas £324, which evidently happened on the 2nd of June. I can't imagine a world where that happens. I don't know, maybe a cancelled order or a bit of fat finger syndrome. Well, let me know if you actually got one for that price. But in more recent times, it's been well over £600, and we're currently looking at 493 with 1,479 up front. Genesis G80 2.5 litre turbo luxury line automatic rear wheel drive with the innovation pack, 6 seconds to 62. Insurance group 43, 424 litres of boot space, 304 brake horsepower, 818's been the average on it, 1128 at its peak, 338 at its lowest point, which was a few weeks ago, currently 527, which if you look at sort of recent pricing is more or less where it's been. It's been about 530, 535 for quite a period of time now. But prior to that, it was always over £900 and often over £1,000. 1,581 up front, 527 a month. Volvo XC60 2-litre B5P Plus Black Edition all-wheel drive Geartronic is next. 1,737 up front and 579 a month. 6.9 seconds to 62, 32.5 mpg, 483 litres of boot space. Insurance group 35 and 250 brake horsepowers. £606 a month on average, £700 at its peak. Its lowest point was £9 a month less than it is right now. 1,737 up front and 579 a month. And then just before we get onto the plug-in hybrids, we've got one absolute monster for you. It's the Audi RS3 Sportback TFSI Quattro 400 Carbon Black S-Tronic Tech Pro. There you go, that's a long one, isn't it? 3.8 seconds to 62, 30 mpg, 400 brake horsepower in an A3 essentially, 282 litres of boot space. This car is bonkers. £1,060 a month has been the average on it, 1,205 at its peak and 813. It's the lowest price we've seen it since they reset this counter on the 16th of June. At which point it was at £1,205. Onto the plug-in hybrids, we're starting off with that MGHS that I said about earlier, 871 up front and 290 a month, 6.8 seconds to 62, 299 brake horsepower, insurance group 26 and 507 litres of boot space. 420 a month has been the average on it, 508 at its peak, and this is the lowest price we've seen it. Just a couple of weeks ago, it was 352 quid a month. This one's 290. If I can find it, I go back to the petrol version of the car. Can I find it? I can. That's 281 a month, or you can get the plug-in hybrid for 290 a month. That's got to be a bargain, folks. I know this one's a lower trim level. It's an SE. The other one's a trophy. But it does look like good value. Cooper 4Mentor plug-in hybrid, 204 brake horsepower, 7.9 seconds to 62, 345 litres of boot space, 1,100 up front, 366 a month, 472 a month's been the average on it, 634 at its peak, and this is the lowest price we've seen at 366. Oh, it's just gone away. How strange. Audi A3 Sportback 40 TFSI eSport S-Tronic, 7.4 seconds to 62, 204 brake horsepower, insurance group 25, 280 litres boot space, 1,145 up front and 381 a month. It's been around this price for a little while now. At its peak, it was 731, 454 on average. Lowest point was about £5 a month, less than it is now, but it still looks like a reasonable price on that A3 plug-in hybrid. Cupra Terramar 1.5 e-hybrid 204 V2 automatic. Hearing good things about these. 1,200 up front and 400 a month. 8.3 seconds to 62. 204 brake horsepower, insurance group 27 and 400 litres of boot space. 400 quid a month with 1,200 up front versus an average of 526 a month, a peak of 681, and this is the lowest price we've seen it. Again, looks like cracking value on that. VW Passat 1.5 TSI e-hybrid elegance, DSG automatic, 8.1 seconds to 62, insurance group 37, 204 brake horsepower and 510 litres of boot space, 1,226 up front and 408 a month. Brilliant load lugger, brilliant motorway cruiser. 661 a month was the peak on it, 516 on average, and the lowest point was 393. Audi A5 2-litre TFSI 299 e-Quattro S-Line S-Tronic, 5.9 seconds to 62, 299 brake horsepower, insurance group 39 and 331 litres of boot space, 0-62 in 5.9 seconds, 643 has been the average on it, over £1,000 when it was launched on the 5th of May. Since then, it's been 660, 608, and then it's just come down to this 530, which is the lowest price we've seen it. Nearly 1,600 up front, 530 a month. If you want to get the Avant version of that, that's the estate version in Audi language, you're looking at 1,634 up front and 544 a month. Bit more of a flat line on the pricing on that one. Check this one out. It's the VW Multivan 1.5 TSI e-hybrid Life 4Motion DSG automatic. Massively popular things. 1,686 up front and 562 a month. 9-second 0-62 time, 245 brake horsepower. 0-62 in 9 seconds. 793 a month's been the average. 920 at its peak, and this is the lowest price we've seen it by a long way. £562 a month with 1,686 up front. Just 2 weeks ago, look, it was 717 quid a month. Prior to that, 821 at 920 in May. This really does look like a good price at the moment. It's in stock, and I dare say the numbers are going to be quite limited on these. So if you want one of these, do not delay. Use that link to Lease Loco and make your inquiry as quickly as possible. Right, BMW 5 Series Saloon. Finally, something that's not VW Group. Apart from that MG, I think everything else has been. They're really cutting the prices on their plug-in hybrids at the moment. It's the 530e M Sport, 6.3 seconds to 62, 299 brake horsepower, insurance group 39 and 520 litres of boot space, 1,700 quid up front and 566 a month. The price is yo-yoed like mad on these. At its peak 944, the average has been 739. You see here's some crazy pricing. Lowest point was 437 on this. It only lasted for about 12 minutes, but it was there. Currently 566 with 1,700 quid up front. Jeep Grand Cherokee, we've seen this one quite a bit lately, but it's got everything essentially. I think it's 70 odd £1,000 car, 2,358 up front and 786 a month. Against an average of 1,211, a peak of 1,464, and actually the lowest price on it's been £8 a month less than it is now. So although it's an insane amount of money to spend on a car, it actually looks like good value at the moment. And finally, we've got the Lexus RX 450h Plus 2.5 litre Takumi. 6.5 seconds to 62, 309 brake horsepower, insurance group 45 and 612 litres of boot space, 2,375 up front and 791 a month. What do you think, folks? Do you prefer having a video like this once a week with all the latest deals broken up into sections, EVs, petrols and diesels, plug-in hybrids? Or would you rather just have them alternate weeks? One's going to have the stuff with an engine in and the other one's going to have the stuff that's only got a battery in. Let me know in the comments. Massive thanks again to ALA for sponsoring today's video, and please use that link to Lease logo, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. People think that as your channel gets bigger, it gets easier to get new subscribers. It doesn't. It gets tougher. So please, likes make a massive difference, as do subscriptions. So please help me out. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you on the next one. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.